The Secrets of Stargate is brought to you by the StarQuest Production Network and is made possible by our many generous patrons. If you'd like to support the podcast, please visit sqpn.com/give.
You're listening to The Secrets of Stargate, Episode 65.
Lieutenant West, Jackson has identified the seventh symbol.
All right, here we go. We are about to try to make a connection.
All we gotta do is bust out of here, commandeer the ship, and fly on home.
Indeed. You say that a lot.
I know that this could be dangerous. But this is our job, right? It's what we signed on to do.
It was never about going home. It's about getting us to where we're going.
Hi, I'm Jack Baruzzini, and you're listening to The Secrets of Stargate, where I talk about the hidden meanings and deeper layers found in the Stargate movies, TV series, and more. And joining me today are Father Cory Sticha. Hi, Father.
Howdy, Jack.
And Lisa Jones. Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Jack.
And Victor Lambs. Hey, Victor.
Hi, Jack.
Today we are discussing the first episode of Season 4, Small Victories. With the Blistener destroyed and Sam, Jack, and Teal'c returned after a week to the SGC, enough time for Teal'c to grow a soul patch, the team believes the Earth is safe. Unfortunately, the replicators have taken over a Russian submarine and have begun multiplying again. Thor returns to ask the help of SG-1 in the Asgard's battle against the replicators. Sam goes with Thor while Jack, Daniel, and Teal'c go to deal with the replicators on the Russian sub. We are introduced to the Asgard's most advanced ship, the O'Neill. Sam comes up with a plan to use the new ship as bait for the replicators and is successful in destroying them by self-destructing the O'Neill. Meanwhile, back on the sub, Jack and Teal'c battle against the replicators and their queen. Eventually, as the replicators gain full control of the sub and attempt to flee, the sub is torpedoed and Thor manages to beam them out just in the nick of time. This is a really good way to start the season.
Yeah.
So these two together was good ending and then a good start. So I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, this is probably one of the best of the two-parters of SG-1.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just it's such a strong. There's two strong episodes. You know, sometimes two-parters can be kind of weak. You know, one's better than the other. No, both are two good, strong episodes. Even if we had to realize that the humans are stupider than the Asgard, and that's why they're able to win.
Just got to dumb it down sometimes.
Yeah. We'd never do that, and that's why you asked me to be here.
Yep. Yeah, I like that whole exchange. So, what were your thoughts on the episode, Father?
Oh, I absolutely enjoyed this one. This is, like I said, another good one, another good closure to the two-parter. Get to see more of the Asgard. Get to see the Asgard homeworld, which was really cool. Get to see some of the other ships, including the O'Neill, which becomes the sacrificial lamb. Much to Jack's chagrin.
Yes.
Colonel O'Neill was not happy about that. Oh, they named a ship after me, and you destroyed it. I never even got to see it,
Yep.
But no, it was good. There's some really good one-liners. There's some good action. Of course, you had the two red shirts or black uniform that got killed, but yeah, but it was good. A very good one.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Lisa?
So season 4 is probably my favorite. Obvious reasons. It is the real start of the Sam and Jack ship, for real. And I think that I don't know what happened during that week on that planet, but it's obvious from the start of their banter in the early episode that there's just something they shifted in their relationship that the show did. And you see it all throughout the season. And so for that reason, I love it. But then I also love watching Carter with Thor and trying to be stupid. So it's just the start of a great season. And so I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely.
That's it.
Yeah, because he extends the invitation to go fishing again.
Yep.
When they get back. But then again, he doesn't even get to go fishing. So
Yeah,
I'm
not
kind
yet.
of hoping he'll finally get there.
They do.
We do get to see him fishing.
Yeah, nice. What about you, Victor?
I love this episode, and I actually, while I've watched the preceding one, Nemesis, multiple times, this one I think I've only watched once, and so I was watching this again with like new eyes. A lot of the story beats were, surprising to me just because I'd forgotten about them, and it's great. It's got funny moments that aren't just all quippy one-liners. there's some really good funny bits in it. There's some really good action bits. It takes place on a submarine and a spaceship, and there's really nothing more you can ask for from a TV show than that. Yeah, I don't know what happened on P3X234. I guess whatever happens on P3X234 stays on P3X234. But in terms of shipping, I mean, Sam and Thor, they hug. She almost crushes him with that hug. I mean,
First, you talk about Sam and Daniel shipping, and now Sam and Thor. What is going on?
Sam just likes guys with huge intellects.
I like that. I like that. They've done a good job incorporating physical comedy with the Asgard, which I like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That, and then their freeze-dried cubes that they eat.
That was
Yeah.
like hilarious.
That was so Star Trek TOS though, because they had they'd go to eat and it would be this little bowl of colored Jello basically. That's what I thought of.
The way Thor is so like, I like the yellow ones, He eats it and it looks like styrofoam.
Yeah.
Talking about starburst.
Well, you don't expect to get personality from Thor, right?
Yeah.
So that was kind of fun. Little quip there. And then Carter's reaction to it.
Yeah. Something I really liked about this was how well the CGI aged.
Yes.
The replicators, like it helps that they filmed it in a dark submarine, but like the one scene where they first come in and you have them both in the background, like crawling on the walls, and then also in the foreground, and it blended seamlessly. So
Yeah,
it looks really good.
Yeah, there's a lot of where the camera is moving like through the submarine and the replicators are running through the hallway, and there's no you could tell that they tracked it or else went frame by frame to match it up, and it looks excellent.
Yeah.
A really interesting choice with this was to show the inside of the submarine, once SG-1 gets there through the helmet cams.
Mm-hmm.
So you notice that while they do show some regular film footage of the people, the early shots of the replicators, including the replicator queen, which we'll talk about, are all done with the helmet cam kind of grainy video to make it look more weird and alien.
Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, Blair Witchy. And I was like, oh, well, this is an interesting gimmick. But then there is that scene at the end where Jack rips his helmet off and turns it around to show his face when he's imploring them just blow up the damn ship, type thing.
Yep.
To quote a line from First Contact, and very similar type plot to this one. But the interesting thing about that too is like Major Davis is like waiting on orders to fire the torpedoes from Daniel, apparently.
Yeah.
It's like
Daniel's
a colonel
in
just ordered a
charge.
major to blow up a ship, and then he's looking to Daniel. I guess maybe it's just courtesy.
Civilian.
Yeah, courtesy.
He's probably, I wonder if the way that the jurisdiction shook out with that special project, because they went to them specifically to deal with that because they didn't really have anyone else.
Yeah.
Maybe they were deferring to his judgment there. Yeah, I liked that. It was basically the exact same way they did the movie Aliens. You've got that initial sequence in the movie where all the action is going through the helmet chems, which really adds to the that gritty feel.
Doesn't at one point a character say it's a bug hunt?
Yeah, it's the
yeah.
What was his name?
Stevens.
Bill Paxton.
Yeah, Bill Paxton.
It's a bug hunt, man. Yeah, we did not get any homages to that in here, but it was a bug hunt too.
Mm-hmm.
I guess just that's inferred.
Yeah.
Something that I thought was funny, I saw this on the wiki, was apparently the Russian dialogue in the beginning is one of them asks, what could that noise be? And then the answer was, maybe it's those insects from the previous episode. And they didn't subtitle it, so you wouldn't see that on screen. But I
Really?
thought that was funny. Yeah,
Saw that
apparently.
too.
I actually had Google Translate on your phone, the app, you can actually have it running.
Oh, you're smart.
Mhm.
And it didn't translate that part, but it was kind of sketchy on what it was like. Look in the circle, hand me a torch. What's that noise? So they could have snuck something like that into there.
Yeah, I saw another thing that said it wasn't actually Russian, it was Ukrainian.
Well, we could get into a detailed discussion about
The
what
difference
parts of
between the two
Ukraine
languages.
are Russian in heritage and stuff, but I don't think we will.
The languages are separate languages, but they do have overlap.
Yeah.
So we can become very topical.
Yeah.
I like the yellow ones.
Yeah.
Okay, did anyone else think that first guy that got clobbered looked like Rick Moranis?
He did.
Oh,
yeah.
he did. Yeah, he had a very
Yep.
like Ted Raimi, Rick Moranis
Yeah.
vibe going on there.
Honey, I
wondered
Shrunk
if-
the Kids kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just what I thought of when I was watching it. And when did the replicators be able to spray acid on people? That was
They
new,
learned
right?
a new trick.
Yeah, I
Apparently.
assume that's like they were spraying acid to like dissolve the metal to eat it. So maybe they just
Oh.
like adjusted the it's like you have a hose nozzle and you can kind of turn it
Mhm.
settings. You went from like
Okay.
cone to jet or something.
They did that in the previous episode. They were like eating through the side with the acid in the
True.
ship.
Okay, I forgot about that. We just hadn't seen them spray a person yet.
No, they didn't use it as a weapon or anything like
Okay.
that before.
Right. So they talk about how these replicators are made from the materials on the submarine. So they're made out of iron and steel and things like that, rather than the advanced materials that the Asgard ones are made out of. So they're a lot more vulnerable. And they talk about how they're vulnerable to seawater, so they can't get out of the ship. But at no point do they just flood the submarine.
Submarine.
I was waiting for them to just flood it and then deal with the one, but
Well, they
I don't know,
kind
didn't-
of did at the
Yeah.
end when they blew it up or shot it, and they didn't
Yeah.
really blow it up. They just opened it up so that the water would get into it,
right.
basically.
True.
At least what we saw.
Yeah. Definitely got some Hunt for Red October vibes with that.
Well, it was even the Dallas, the USS Dallas was the sub on Run for Red
yeah.
October.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, was it?
So
Oh, nice. Nice callback there. Yeah.
so
Nice, that worked
the
out,
the Texas connection there,
Yeah. Is that Hammond's favorite sub?
Well, and they even call I'm trying to remember what class of ship they called it. It was the submarine Blackbird, and of course,
Yeah.
Red October, Blackbird.
Yeah.
Color in a name.
Gotcha. Yeah, the Foxtrot class Russian submarine there.
Yeah.
We get to see
didn't
Siler
get
in this
in-
episode.
Oh yeah.
Tyler got to leave the base.
Yeah, he gets knocked down by Daniel when Daniel's in the
Yeah.
infirmary with Dr. Fraser,
Yeah.
and they have the off-world activation, and he tears out of there like a shot, and like completely like the first of many. Well, not the first, but Siler getting like knocked over. Probably.
Well,
the fourth or
Daniel does
fifth,
it all
yeah.
the time. How many times has he done that? He's rushed out of an office or rushed out of a room and come down the corridor and smack into someone and sorry, and run off.
Yeah, he kind of loses coordination when he's careening around.
Yeah.
and
and Si-
Tyler got to leave.
Yes, he did.
got to
And
go
he,
with
got
them.
he got to be the zoom in and enhance guy.
Yep.
On the
Yeah.
footage where they say zoom in and enhance on this grainy like helmet cam and show the 4 layers of thermal imaging to
Oh, yes.
to see the original Asgardian replicator underneath the new Queen replicator made of iron and steel and yeah, I thought that was cool though.
Well, maybe they had they had really advanced FLIR cameras attached to their heads up cam.
They'll look for some Tic Tacs afterwards.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I did like how the solution kind of played out in space and underwater the same way as recognizing that the replicators are made up of what they eat, like they are what they eat. And so that's the solution to defeating them in the submarine, but also the solution to defeating them in space as well.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And understanding their motivation
Yeah.
beyond just replicate, but Carter having to break it down to think. I loved when Thor mentioned, what was it, ketons or something like that?
Yeah.
Like she gets all distracted, like, what? But breaking it down to what is their actual motivation and what are they trying to do? And then how do we get them to do that and take care of them at the same time? So it was what do you call it? A stupid human solution.
Mhm.
Right. Hit it. Yeah. I like even when he's trying to dumb it down, like he's not capable of it because his mind just doesn't work that way.
It was like Chiron particle, and it's like I don't even know what a Chiron particle is. Can you explain it to me? no.
Yeah.
We don't have time for this.
And then basically, if it was a Chiron solution, we already would have thought of that because we're really, really smart.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of another one of those of, with the Tolan about, oh, yeah, that's kind of like quantum physics. Quantum physics, we left that behind us years ago, We rejected that years ago. It's like...
Or was it when they bend the stick like this or something in the circle?
Yep.
And they're like, just like that. And he's like, no.
No.
Oh yeah, the whole the very typical explanation for like wormhole travel that they use in every single movie that involves like faster than light travel.
Yeah. And it was like, nope, that's not it. We're not getting into that right now. Let's skip over all of that and just go back to the dumb human solution.
And that's one thing I love about Stargate is they don't get in the weeds on the technology.
Yeah.
Star Trek fell into that trap. Star Wars kind of falls into that trap sometimes. Not Stargate. It's no, we're gonna. It just works. Just that's what I need to know.
They're not afraid to hang. They're not afraid to hang a lantern on it. And
hang a lantern. They're hanging a 10,000 watt bulb on it.
Yeah, and we get this great scene where like Sam is trying to convince Thor to blow up the O'Neill, their like pride, their flagship, their most advanced craft that they've ever developed, and he's very reluctant. He's like, it's not even finished yet, and you get to see some of that. Later on, we get to see more of that kind of like pride of the Asgard, like shining through. And, Sam says like, I'm sorry, maybe it's a stupid idea, but isn't that why I'm here? And then Thor immediately flips and says, then maybe we should try it. And I love how he's like, yeah, that is why you're here. We need your stupid ideas. And we get probably the most anticlimactic space battle ever put on film.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It looks like Galaga or Pac-Man, and like because they show it in a computer, like on a computer display, and it's just like these like 4 pixel art ships, and then like 3 of them disappear, and it's like, and then the one disappears and the other 3 disappears, and it's like, well, we win.
Yeah, you see a little puff of energy come out of the hyperspace tunnel or whatever, and that was it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I guess they spent all their budget for the effects on the replicators, I guess.
or on the Asgardian city, which was really impressive. I had forgotten we got. I don't think this is the Asgard homeworld. I think this is a Asgard planet because.
Oh, I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I think I thought so too until later on. Thor says like, this is one of our planets, but they're still fighting in our galaxy. And so it's like their main homeworld, I guess, is in their galaxy. But then I don't know if this is the planet that we see. And I think it's next season that's been completely overrun by replicators or what. But it is a very impressive futuristic city with all the ships docked and stuff. And it makes the Nox planet look a bit rubbish after all of that.
Yeah.
Oof,
you think?
Yeah.
You can just not ever see them again. That would be too soon.
We don't. Do we?
That's good. Yeah.
With the Nox?
Yeah.
I don't think so. We saw the one in the trial episode with the Tolan, yeah. So
I think that might be it.
I think they're mentioned a couple times more, but that's about as far as it goes.
Okay.
Now we just get lots of Asgard replicators and back to some
Gold. We still get gold still out there.
So this was the first premiere, of our whole 4 seasons that didn't have Goulds in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of think about that for a second, that season 4 premiered and there's no real substantial mention of their biggest threat, alleged biggest threat to their galaxy, which is the Gould still. And so I thought that was an interesting, if you think about it, a take on the season. Like we're changing direction. It's been all about them. Now we're going to introduce you to some new bad guys and kind of start going away from where we started.
A good choice.
Yeah. I was gonna say the more you see of the Gould and the other species in the galaxy, the more you see that the Gould are really like bottom rung villains who are just kind of roaming around, and they take what they're like, just taking stuff from humans basically, because the rest of the alien species don't even care about them.
Yeah.
They're the mustache twirling villains.
Yeah.
As I think, Jack, you said in the beginning, when we started doing the podcast and stuff, you were like, but what is their real motivation? And it was like, just to be bad
be
guys.
evil.
You
Yeah.
bad guys. Ego trips.
Yeah.
That's their motivation.
Yeah. Yeah.
They like their ego trips.
There's not a real depth there.
They're worms that basically suddenly got space travel and all this technology, and they're still worms, basically. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to see more of the Unas, and I know we get some of that. I feel like that would be the most interesting avenue to explore with the Gould at this point.
Uh-oh.
I'm getting head shakes from Lisa. So.
We're gonna have a
No.
I like most of the Unas episodes.
Yeah.
Most.
Yeah. We'll have some disagreement.
Oh, nice. That'll be fun. We can have a
No,
debate.
the Goa'uld, they do kind of play with the Goa'uld from here on in now. They're not the big bads anymore. The replicators are really kind of taking that position. So now we get to see a little bit more fun with including Ball, who becomes kind of the man that the bad guy that's the most loved. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Nice.
He really becomes a fan favorite.
Yeah. We get a lot more Tok'ra this season.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I think this episode is basically the show like charging into season 4, which is really kind of like it's hitting its stride. It's like this is the peak, the pinnacle through season 5, and so it's just like full steam ahead from here on out.
Nice. Yeah, looking through the episodes we've got coming up, looks like we got a lot of fun stuff. So I'm definitely glad we've kind of hit that prime spot.
Yeah. I think that like Victor just said, these middle seasons are kind of what a lot of fans think about when they really think of Stargate. It's not the first couple of seasons. It's really this middle chunk that just people watch over and over again because you've gotten really comfortable with your characters. Your bad guys have gotten fleshed out, and just I don't know. They're not scared of just kind of doing what they want to do with the show, which is a little bit of fun, a lot of teamwork, and let's go explore.
Mm-hmm.
They're able to kind of play with the technologies a little bit too, where now humans have more than just machine guns and grenades to deal with the bad guys. Now they've got stuff that they've captured and stuff they're starting to develop themselves and learn about, and with the Asgard's help and other discoveries. So it starts to get a lot more sci-fi than it was. This isn't just a standard Earth group. They've got other fun stuff to play with.
Mm-hmm. They've also introduced the various factions on Earth itself with the NID and all that. So we get a more complex setup than the beginning, where it was very much just they go to the planet, they see something, they come back and they report it, and you don't really get the wider implications of that.
And we start to get that too with other countries. Russia becomes, especially this season, becomes much more important, and then eventually other countries than that. So yeah, it develops. It develops a lot very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do set up a lot of the Russia stuff in this episode and the preceding episodes. Like Russia noticed the space craft crashing into the ocean, with the Stargate on it. But so it sets that up as well, and lots of good stuff here.
The funny part is it crashed into the ocean, the Pacific Ocean, 400 miles off of San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
So basically right on our door. But apparently it must have flown over Russia or something as it was crashing. Who knows? Depends on how it came into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could have gone where they could see it, or they have satellites. And
yeah.
Was Mir still around at this point? I don't think so.
Don't think so. I don't remember.
Yeah. And that's something they don't really talk about in this episode, is that they did discuss why SG-1 was stranded, because it took them longer to get the Beta Gate, unpacked and set up. But they don't really say, oh yeah, now Earth is down to one gate.
Yeah, they didn't really talk about that at all. Just have the new gate set up and.
Mm-hmm. And where is that second? Where's the original gate?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and and they said it took them a week to get it, and that's why. What took you so long? Well, it took us a week to get the stupid thing working, basically, including the iris. I mean, they got the iris working right away, until Thor said, "Nope, you're not going to make it work."
Right.
I feel like the iris has been hacked so many times; it's essentially just like Windows Defender at this point. Like, just there for show.
But I did appreciate how Thor had to slum it and actually like come to Earth through the Stargate. And like,
Yeah.
it just feels wrong as like someone who's watched the show. It feels wrong for Thor to be like just strolling through the Stargate. And so they did a good job kind of like, humbling Thor a little bit by having them have to.
But then he's still got the little handheld glowy thing that he just lifts up and immediately the Stargate wakes up. Just like, well, that would be nice to have. Forget a DHD.
It's like Thor out.
Yep.
How the Asgard acknowledge that, like, how much more advanced they are in many ways than humanity. And they're very reticent to, like, share anything with them. But then they still come to them and ask for help.
But they never say no, really. They just say, well, we're kind of busy right now. So when we're not busy, we're there. We're with you, buddy. We got you. But right now, we're busy.
And there were a couple times where Thor said in previous episodes, "You're not ready yet, but it will come."
Yeah.
It just hasn't happened. It's kind of like the not yet, but soon answer you give a kid. It's like, can we go get ice cream? Not yet, but soon. Of course, when soon? Someday.
That line never works. I feel like you got to say yes or no, or you're going to keep getting asked.
Oh yeah. Well,
maybe that's how Thor feels.
As Asgards find out, humans still do that.
Yeah.
Can we have that technology? No, soon. Can we have that technology? No, soon. Eventually, we get their technology,
but in a pinch, Thor is always there to pull you out of a dangerous situation. And I loved the character moments in this. Just that scene where Jack completely, like, it's one of the few times we see Jack actually lose it when he's shooting the blue replicator with the semi-automatic shotgun with the drum magazine, which is really cool. But and just like completely obliterates it. And Teal'c's finally like, I believe you got it, O'Neill. He's like, yeah, I think I got it. Acknowledging that he kind of lost it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then when it looks like he's dead and he's telling, Daniel, blow up the thing. The mission's accomplished. We have nothing left to do here. We can't get off the ship. And, he's beamed up and Daniel sees it through the camera footage and Daniel's like speechless. He's like the motioning upwards towards the ship, that's probably up there. And it's one of the few times we see Daniel completely speechless and, unable to talk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Also, like when Thor beams Jack out mid-sentence when he's inviting him to go fishing.
Yeah.
It's like they got bass like this big.
It's like, well yeah, that was a good, really humorous note to end on there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I always love that too, where there's times when Thor does that and he's just kind of like, I'm annoyed with you now. Gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, fishing is a running joke through this series, but not going fishing with someone has tragic consequences in Atlantis. And that's all I'll say about that.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
But
I will say, though, in this, though, later on, Jack gets his pond and he wonders many times if there are actually any fish in the pond, but still, he does try to fish it.
I did like the symmetry between this episode and the previous one where there are kind of like beats that are repeated between the two, like, Jack going to see Carter, walking out, and then like, am I going to get beamed out here or not? Deja vu.
Yeah.
We've been through, we've done this before. So there are a couple. They were conscious they were writing a two-parter, and so they actually, but as two separate episodes, so they kind of mirror each other in some ways there.
Mm-hmm. I like how they don't really they don't waste any time at the beginning, like keeping it in suspense whether or not they survived going through the gate. Like, I feel like they could have wasted time on that, which it wouldn't have added anything to the episode. So I'm glad they just kind of skip over that. They're like, yeah, they went to the planet, now they're back.
Yeah, because it had already been 3 months that we had to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. It only seemed like a week for them.
It was a week.
Yeah.
It's a long time for a fan to wait to learn that Jack has like indescribable BO.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So apparently this wasn't a developed planet they went to.
Yeah.
There's some quality about the air there that makes your beard grow quickly and your hair grow quickly, because her hair was noticeably longer too.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Teal'c had, they did something that had bleach, so he could take care of his little, you don't call it a goatee. I don't know what you call it.
A little sink.
And I even like that where Daniel's about to say something. He's pointing at about to say something. Just don't go there.
Yeah, don't touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't touch it.
Yes, there are
That was
opinions
awesome.
online that differ whether or not you should call it a soul patch or a goat patch because it's part of a goatee, but just the patch part. So I'm
Okay.
a purist. Soul patch is fine. Groove
Okay.
patch if it's just below the chin, but either way, I wanted to go listen to some Smash Mouth or something afterwards.
But it wasn't as cool. It still wasn't as cool as the alternate timeline Teal'c's soul patch where it goes down
Oh,
below,
yeah.
it like hangs down below the
yeah.
chin. You know,
Yeah.
that was cooler.
Well, I think this is the longest you ever see Carter's hair. So until Atlantis,
Yeah.
right? I mean, but this is it, and it won't last long. So
Yeah,
enjoy it.
it's not exactly what you call military ranks.
No.
Let's put it that way.
No.
Very flattering
Yeah, I
for
know.
her face.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was like kind of feathered out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they changed her makeup a little bit, different eyeliner, and no,
Mhm.
very, very nice.
Yeah. I
More
definitely noticed
soft this episode.
that. Yeah, this one is probably, I would agree, this is the best two-parter they've done, especially like thinking about the last one, which was where they go to the hell planet with Apophis and all that.
Mm.
How one of those episodes you could tell was just complete padding,
Yep.
Yeah.
whereas this they
Pretty
balanced
much.
it really, really well.
I almost wonder if it wasn't when they conceived of the ideas, if it was supposed to be two, just completely separate ideas, and then they merged them together to make a two-parter. It's like I'd have to go back and look. Most of the time, you would have a cliffhanger ending your season.
Mhm.
So, but the way that they did these, where it's seamless, was great.
They could have even done this where they had this be like have the last one be the end of the last one, have that cliffhanger where the replicator comes out of the water, and then they could have put this episode like 5 or 6 episodes later, and all they would have had to change would be the team getting
Turn.
back sooner.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't think it would have worked just because of the, symmetry and the mirroring between the two episodes that I mentioned.
Yeah.
I think it kind of works
I
very
mean, I
well
like
as
how they
like
did it here,
bookends.
yeah.
Yeah. And again, as you mentioned, Lisa, you had to wait like 3 months, in between, and kind of makes it kind of rewarding you for that wait.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. It is funny how like you'd think in back then like you'd wait like 2 or 3 months between seasons, and then now it's like sometimes like 2 years
Yeah.
of shows.
And there are only 10 episode seasons, so
Right.
you're waiting even longer for that.
And a lot of times you can binge them all in 1 week.
Yeah.
So,
But if you don't, it's like they expect you to know like every line of dialogue that was said like prior to that 2-year gap, and to like Doctor Who is really famous for like, oh, remember what just happened? Like it was last weekend. It's like, no, I don't. It was 18 months ago. You're gonna have to,
Yeah.
walk me through this here a little bit.
and no
Yeah,
reruns.
It's even worse with shows where each season is kind of its own like 10-hour long movie,
Mhm.
Mhm.
which are already just kind of tiresome in my opinion, but where they keep all these plot threads going, and it's like, well, I don't remember what was going on 2 years ago. How can I?
Yep.
It's hard to get caught
Right.
up. It's gotten to the point where like I never finished Man in the High Castle because it was like 3 years between the
Oh, yeah, me
third
too.
season and the fourth
Sure.
season, and by that time I was just like, I don't really care anymore.
Well, it's like with the Orville coming back. There's some of those, as I'm trying to remember, characters like, oh, yeah, that's who that character is, and that's who that
Mhm.
was. And,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, it's a shorter release cadence is definitely preferred.
And it's
Mhm.
even better if you're watching an old show like this, where you can just
Mhm.
keep going.
keep going.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, you just got to watch the next episode. Oh, that's
Right.
start of season 4. Oh, well, it's just the next episode on my player. So, okay.
So
It's like
I kind of like that we're watching we're doing this once a week. And so
Mhm.
that keeps me from binging. And
Yeah.
as much as I like to binge, sometimes you can really think through and savor the episode the good ones, a little bit better when
Mhm.
you're not just immediately launching into another episode. So
Exactly.
I do like this cadence.
Yeah, definitely same here. It's nice to have something weekly to do, and because it's not serialized, it's each its own encapsulated thing, so you don't have to get like basically do notes every single time you watch the next one to remember what happened last week.
Mhm.
Yeah. And whenever you do come across a bad episode, when we're watching that with our kids, I like to tell them like, okay, so you've just waited an entire week. You're counting down the minutes to watching your favorite show, and this is what they give you this week. And now you have to wait a whole nother week, unless they've gone on hiatus, and it's like another month for you to see the next episode.
Or worse yet, that's the end of the season, and it's going to be another year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One good thing, though, going back to the whole serialized versus episodic, is that at least with like Stargate, if there's a bad episode, it's just a bad episode. Whereas if you have some shows, if the premise is bad because it's 10 episodes that are all kind of the same through plot, the whole thing is kind of bad. It's not like you can watch one episode and be like, that was bad, hopefully better next week.
That's true.
We don't get that here.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So
Unless it's a whole villain that you don't like that they introduce, like the Ori, then you're just kind of stuck.
For 2 seasons in a movie, yep.
Yeah.
But so we do get to see another submarine in Stargate, although we have to wait for one of the movies, the later movies, and it's an actual honest to gosh like functional submarine that they were able to get for the show. So that's very exciting.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out the submarine that they boarded, if that was like an actual, like a decommissioned sub, like one of the museum subs or something like that. And I couldn't find anything. I didn't see anything online, but
it has to be. I mean, because that was, to build that. I mean, granted,
well, it had like rust at the waterline and stuff like that. So it's at minimum was like an actual ship.
Yeah.
Did
Don't they have one like in the Chicago Museum or something, like the Field Museum or something like that? Maybe they just, I don't know.
They do, but it's dry. It's like on ground. It's not on water.
Yeah.
But there might be others. There might be other ones out there. I don't know.
Could it have been footage they bought?
Yeah, I don't know. It could be. Yeah.
No idea.
I mean, you could see them on it. I also know, like, well, I guess they filmed in Vancouver, so I don't know. They would have had to go somewhere to film that, but I think there are places where they have submarines like actually in the water. Like I think in San Diego, there's one you can go see. Could be wrong, but I seem to remember that.
Did y'all feel when they started this episode? In my mind, I went, did they get more budget? Did y'all feel like the production quality of this episode was better or more?
Well, I think when we're talking about the NID and all those like Earth-based episodes, that's kind of the trade-off for like an episode like this, where they like throw all the money at it, and then it's like, now we're just gonna like drive around Earth in a Crown Victoria for like 4 episodes this season.
Bottle episodes where it's like, we're not going to leave the SGC because then we have everything we need right here. We just bring in the actors and go.
And then it's like, let's go through the Stargate. Next scene, oh, now here we are on the planet. Type thing. Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're probably hitting that point that a lot of shows get to, where they've had enough stuff built up from the previous seasons where they don't have to invest more budget in like making the 3D models for the ships or the 3D models for the replicators or the physical puppets for the Asgard. And also at this point, the cost of, hiring the actual.
Those weren't real. Oh, okay.
Yes,
they were real.
I thought those were the Roswell. Never mind. Okay.
The Roswell Greys, yes.
Yeah.
It's Paul.
Those are Ferengi. We already know that the Roswell Greys are really Ferengis.
Yeah. No, the puppets were very good, and I like how they do a mixture of CG and puppetry for that, but the animatronics and there was one shot at the beginning of this episode where they're at the naval base or whatever, and they show outside and you can see like a destroyer or something in the background and all this stuff, and that's CG, just they're in a studio, but that's just like a green screen, but it was still very nicely done. Like it sets up the location, so like little touches like that, very important.
I didn't even notice I didn't notice it was a green screen, so good on them.
Yeah.
Speaking of the puppets, I did see it was one of those clips on one of those alien shows, like here's footage of a real alien, and it's literally one of the Stargate puppets that someone must have had, like sitting behind a chair.
Oh, that's funny.
It's like, wow. Yeah, but they're good puppets, so
yeah.
Did y'all look for outtakes on this one? Because I did not have time to look, that there is an outtake of Thor ordering cappuccino.
I will have to look that up. I'll see if it's on I have the DVDs for this season, so I'll have to see if it's on the
And I also
I
heard
think I
there's
have to
an
look that up.
Yeah.
outtake at Thor touches Carter's rear end, and she
See?
Yep.
See?
But I love that it says in the Stargate wiki is that that she slapped the puppet and then apologized to it and then realized she was talking to a puppet.
It's not really
just
puppet, they're
reflex.
just covering it up.
Yeah.
Has Jack ever touched Carter's rear end? No.
That we know of.
Yeah. So Sam and Thor would be Thor
Yep.
or Tham, but that's their.
That's why Thor has to go away in a couple of seasons. The whole Me Too thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Canceled, yeah.
He was canceled. He had to post a lengthy apology on Twitter and stuff. It was messy.
Yeah.
I'd like to. I bet you there's like a fake Thor Twitter account out there. There's one for like every fictional character, but I'd like to see the kind of things he says.
If there isn't, maybe someone here, Victor, will do it. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's even a fake Twitter account for Slimer from the cartoon The Real Ghostbusters, and everyone.
Well, the cartoon Slimer. Nice.
Yeah, everyone should follow that Real Slimer account that hasn't been updated in probably 8 years because someone lost interest in it right away.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Just write a bot to run it.
I should. Yeah, I mean that person should. Yeah.
I was gonna say you can send that person can send the AI stuff they've got now, the AI bots, and let them do it all. Just give it a couple of plot lines and things like that.
Yeah.
Just have it tweet at Elon Musk every 20 minutes.
Slimer was not a fan of Barack Obama. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah.
Amazing. We're gonna have to go look this up.
Yeah.
Sure, whoever set that up, kudos to them. Awesome. Did you have any other thoughts on this episode?
Nothing here.
Yeah, the only thing that cracked me up. So we live near a airport that has a air museum located with a lot of World War II bombers and planes there, and they'll take people up if you can pay a couple $100 for a ride in a B-17. So we hear B-17s and B-25s flying overhead quite regularly, and when the O'Neill flies by, Sam and Thor's ship into hyperspace, it sounds just like a 4 rotary engine bomber plane going in. Yeah, it's not quite a DC-3, but it does have the rotary engine sound, and I'm just like, that has to be intentional. That the most advanced Asgardian warship sounds just like a B-17 bomber or something. But
yeah.
Funny.
I mean, there's no sound in space anyways, so we'll go with it.
That's a continuity goof. Put that on the wiki.
Unwatchable.
Yeah, totally.
By the way, we need to make sure we put our German title in because someone asked about it.
Yeah.
And this had a really original German title.
I did.
Nemesis Part 2.
Did I lose you?
Yes.
Boring.
Yeah, I've been keeping track of them, but the past several have not been good.
No,
Yeah,
they're slacking on us.
Yeah, get some more interesting ones.
Come on, German, step up your comedy game here. Forget about those energy shortages and just make with the funny titles.
Yeah,
More funny titles.
Yeah.
Maybe next week they'll give us a good one.
Yeah,
definitely.
Maybe.
That would be a small victory.
On the other side.
On the other side, yes.
Nice. Awesome. Before we go, we'd like to take a moment to thank our patrons who make it possible for us to create Secrets of Stargate, including Dogwood Tales, Rhea B, James D, Daryl F, and Frank L. Their generous donations at sqpn.com/give make it possible for us to continue the Secrets of Stargate and all the shows at StarQuest. You can join them by visiting sqpn.com and be sure to follow the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or on the SQPN YouTube channel. To find previous episodes of Secrets of Stargate and to send feedback, please visit sqpn.com/Stargate. And you can email us at stargate@sqpn.com or follow StarQuest on social media or on Twitter at SQPN. And also be sure to join us over on our Discord at sqpn.com/Discord. And we'll be back next time when we'll be discussing the next episode of SG-1, The Other Side. Until then, Father Cory, thank you for joining me and sharing the Secrets of Stargate.
Thank you, Jack.
And Lisa Jones, thank you as well.
Thanks, Jack.
And Victor Lambs, thank you too.
Thanks, Jack. And if you ever need any more dumb ideas, you know where to find me.
Once again, I'm Jack Baruzzini. Thank you for listening to The Secret to Stargate on StarQuest.
Anyway, I'm sorry, but that just happens to be how I feel about it. What do you think?